Hello, this is Roland. Welcome. Today, I want to read something to you, again, from A Guide to True Peace Revisited. And it says, we should forget ourselves and all self-interest, and listen and be attentive to the voice of our God. Outward silence is very requisite for the cultivation and improvement of inward, and indeed it is impossible we should become internal without the love and practice of outward silence and retirement. Well, let's talk about it. You see, let's look at it from two perspectives. The first perspective is that you need to be able to go out into the world and do things. You've got to be a mom, a dad, a husband, a wife, a neighbor, a worker. Okay? You've got to be out in the world doing things, working, cutting the grass, having recreation, talking to people. Christ was always out among the people. See? But you notice there was something, I don't want to say standoffish about him, but he wasn't one of these glad-handers. That's an old term from the railroad. The railroad, you know how the railroad couplers grab each other like this? The couplers come together between the railroad cars. Well, a glad-hander is someone who's always out shaking hands and patting people on the back and slapping people on the back and, you know, all that sort of thing. Just constantly like that. He wasn't that way. Okay? He didn't need people. See, some people need people to absorb the energy and for motivation and excitement and gossip, and see, he didn't need people, and he didn't use people. So he was in the world but not of the world. But he was definitely out there doing things. Okay? Well, that's the way we have to be. We have to be out there doing things. As a parent, like let's say if you're a husband and a father, well, you need to be there. Be there for your wife, be there for your kids. See? But you're not the one, you're not all emotional and all involved. You're a little bit standoffish. There used to be an expression to be a crashing bore. You ever hear that expression? Someone who's just so, they don't laugh at naughty jokes and drink a lot of alcohol and laugh it up and all that stuff. They're like, they don't want to go to wild parties or anything. You say, well, that person is a crashing bore. Well, as a father, as a husband, you have to sort of become that way. You're always there. See? That doesn't mean that you're rigid. No, not at all. You always have a twinkle in your eye. You're easy to be with. You're actually fun to be with. You have a nice nature, a calmness about you, and a light touch. But you're there to watch, mainly to watch, okay, and for people to come to you and ask your advice, so on. That's what a father is for, to always be there, stable, solid, okay. So when other people are excited, you're calm. When other people get carried away, you're not carried away. See what I mean? You're like the designated driver. That's what a father has to be. So there you are, you're involved. See, a lot of kids say, my father wasn't there for me. Well, you're there. You're there, okay, and you're involved, but you're a father. See what I mean? Fun to be with, see, and happy-go-lucky, but watching for the rightness of things and offering correction when needed. No, you can't go out with those kids until midnight, see. No, you can't spend all that money on useless music downloads. Okay? That sort of thing, you see. All right, so now you see how you're there, see, but you're not part of, see, you're almost like a referee. See, as a parent or as a father, you don't want to be, let's say there's a boxing match, for example. Well, you don't want to be one of the participants. On the other hand, you don't want to be just sitting out in the audience watching on the catbird seat. See, a lot of fathers become that way. See, what happens is, see, they try to say something. Maybe they don't get it quite right. Maybe they're a little bit angry or something. But they point something out, which is what a father is supposed to do. But then people react, oh, you're mean, you know, you're mean, and so on. And then father, then, see, because he was angry, he feels guilty for the anger. See, he was probably right about what he said, but he feels guilt for the anger, so he misinterprets it that he shouldn't have said anything. See, or he says something and he gets a lot of arguments, which is perfectly, that's what you can expect. Or he says something and mother opposes what he says. Oh, let the kids go and eat ice cream, you know, and so on. Of course, he mustn't be rigid. If he's too hard-nosed about things and overly rigid and controlling and so forth, well, that's not good, of course. But if he's a good-natured father, but with some wisdom, then sometimes he has to say no. No, you can't go out to that movie until midnight. And then mom says, oh, all the other kids are doing it, and so on. See, so as a father, you have to expect that. But don't get angry. See, don't get angry. Don't become resentful. Just say what you have to say. You're the father, okay? Right is right. Fair is fair. But a lot of fathers, what happens? They become resentful. They throw in the towel. And then they just sit there, and maybe the wife is, let's say she's spoiling the kids. I'm just making something up. She's spoiling them. She's too rushing to their aid, too letting them do everything they want to do, so on. He sees that, but he says nothing. So he just sits on the sidelines and says, okay, let her ruin the kids. See, but that's not the way you have to be. You must be. No, not at all. So you have to be more like the referee. You're not a participant. You're not a bystander just sitting and watching. You're involved, but as a referee. You see what I mean? Well, okay, so now you got the point. So now, the basic point I was trying to make is you have to be in the world. See, the other thing is if you should begin on the path to being a better person. You really and truly want to be a better person. You see that you've messed up. You've been resentful. You hated your dad. You resented your mom. You've been selfish and so on. You know, the usual things. Now you see it. You don't want to be that way anymore. Okay? And you're sorry about what you see about yourself. And you would like to change. And you really and truly want to do the right thing. You may not know what the right thing is, but you really and truly want to do the right thing. And you're willing to admit the truth. If you see something, if in the light, you see your own wrong, you're willing to admit it. It may be a little painful, but you are willing to admit your own wrong. Okay? Well, then you're on the path. Because you want to be a better person. Not just because you want to feel better or have people like you or anything like that or get rid of guilt. No, you just want to be a better person. So now you're on the path. Okay? So you're on the path. So now you go about your life. And then as you go about your life, as a dad or a mom or son or daughter, worker, neighbor, well then you'll interact with people, and then you will see you will see your error. You'll see how in the past you used to resent people. Then you see how the resentment made you guilty, and then you were extra nice or too nice, see, which was not good either. You'll see how you didn't speak up. You just kept silent and said nothing, but were resentful. See, things like that. You'll see all of that, and gradually then you begin to improve. But the bread and butter of your new spiritual life, the heartbeat of your new spiritual life, is a wanting to know the truth. Making that more important than anything. Wanting to know the purpose for your existence. And being willing to admit when you're wrong. Okay? Because you want to be a better person. And so you want to ever be attentive to what the truth is, to what right is. See? In each delicate moment. So that's the heartbeat of your new spiritual life.